Hey guys, today we're coming back with Storytime Monday, and today we're actually gonna switch over a little bit and we're gonna start doing chapter books. So today we're gonna be reading Judy Blume's Super Fudge. Chapter 1. Guess what, Peter? Life was going along okay when my mother and father dropped the news. Bam. Just like that. We have something wonderful to tell you, Peter, Mom said before dinner. She was slicing carrots into the salad bowl. I grabbed one. What is it? I asked. I figured maybe my father's been made president of the company. Or maybe my teacher phoned saying that even though I don't get the best grades in 5th grade, I'm definitely the smartest kid in class. We're going to have a baby, Mom said. We're going to have a what? I asked, starting to choke. Dad had to whack me on the back. Tiny pieces of chewed up carrot flew out my mouth and hit the counter. Mom wiped them up with a sponge. Have a baby, Dad said. You mean you're pregnant? I asked Mom. That's right, she told me, patting her middle. Almost 4 months. 4 months? You've known for 4 months and you didn't tell me? We wanted to be sure, Dad said. It took you 4 months to be sure? I saw the doctor for the second time today, Mom said. The baby's due in February. She reached over and tried to tussle my hair. I ducked and got out the way before she could touch me. Dad took the lid off the pot on the stove and stirred up the stew. Mom went back to slicing carrots. You would have thought we were discussing the weather. How could you? I shouted. How could you? Isn't one enough? They both stopped and looked at me. I kept right on shouting. Another fudge? Just what this family needs. I turned and stormed down the hall. Fudge, my 4-year-old brother, was in the living room. He was shoving crackers in his mouth and laughing like a loon at Sesame Street on TV. I looked at him and thought about having to go through it all over again. The kicking and the screaming and the messes and more, much more. I felt so angry that I kicked the wall. Fudge turned. Hi, Pata, he said. You are biggest pain ever invented, I yelled. He tossed a handful of crackers at me. I raced to my room and slammed the doors so hard that the map on the world fell off the wall and landed on my bed. My dog, Turtle, barked. I opened the door just enough to let him squeeze through, then slammed it shut again. I pulled my Adidas bag off of the closet and emptied 2 dresser's drawers into it. Another fudge, I said to myself. They're going to have another fudge. There was a knock at my door and Dad called. Peter! Go away, I told him. I'd like to talk to you, he said. About what? As if I didn't know. The baby. What baby? You know what baby. We don't need another baby. Need it or not, it's coming, Dad said. So you might as well get used to the idea. Never. Well, we'll talk about it later, Dad said. In the meantime, scrub up. It's time for dinner. I'm not hungry. I zipped up the bag on my floor, grabbed a jacket, and opened my bedroom door. No one was there. I marched down the hall and found my parents in the kitchen. I'm leaving, I announced. I'm not going to hang around waiting for another fudge to get born. Goodbye. I didn't move. I just stood there waiting to see what they'd do next. Where are you going, Mom asked. She took 4 plates out the cabinet and handed them to Dad. To Jimmy Fargo's, I said. Although until that moment I hadn't thought at all about where I would go. They have a 1-bedroom apartment, Mom said. You'd be very crowded. Then I'll go to Grandma's. She'll be happy to have me. Grandma's in Boston for a few weeks, visiting Aunt Linda. Oh. So why don't you scrub up and have dinner, and then we can decide where to go, Mom said. I didn't want to admit that I was hungry, but I was. And all those good smells coming from the pots and pans on the stove were making my mouth water. So I dropped my Adidas bag and went down the hall to the bathroom. Fudge was at the sink. He stood on his stool, lathering his hands with 3 inches of sun. Hello, you must be Bert, he said in his best Sesame Street voice. My name is Ernie. Glad to meet you. He offered me one of the fuzzy little hands, rolled up his sleeves. I told him, You're making a mess. Mess. I love to make a mess, he sang. We know, I told him. I ran my hands under the faucet and dried them on my jeans. When we got to the table, Fudge arranged himself in his chair since he refuses to sit in his booster's chair. He has to kneel so that he can reach his place at the table. Pizza, Didn't scrub, he said. He only rinsed. You little, I started to say. But Fudge was already yapping away to my father. Hello, I'm Bert. You must be Ernie. That's right, my father said, playing along with him. How are you, Bert? Well, I'll tell you, Fudge said. My liver's turning green and my toenails are falling off. Sorry to hear that, Bert, my father said. Maybe tomorrow you'll be better. Yes, maybe, Fudge said. I shook my head and I piled some mashed potatoes on my plate. Then I drowned them in gravy. Remember when we took Fudge to Hamburger Heaven, I said? And he smeared the mashed potatoes all over the wall? I did that, Fudge asked, suddenly interested. Yes, I told him. And you dumped a plate of peas on your head, too. My mom started to laugh. I had forgotten all about that day. Too bad you didn't remember that before you decided to have another baby, I said. Baby? Fudge asked. My mother and father looked at each other. I got the message. They hadn't told Fudge the good news yet. Yes, Mom said. We're going to have a baby. Tomorrow? Fudge asked. No, not tomorrow, Mom said. When? Fudge asked. February, Dad said. January, February, March, April, May, June. Fudge recited. Okay, I said. We all know how smart you are. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Enough, I said. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, R, B, Y, Z. Will somebody turn him off, I said. Fudge was quiet for a few minutes. Then he said, what kind of new baby will it be? Let's hope it's not like you, I said. Why not? I was a good baby, wasn't I, Mom? You were an interesting baby, Fudgy, Mom said. See, I was an interesting baby, he said to me. And Peter was a sweet baby, Mom said. He was very quiet. Lucky you had me first, I said to Mom, or you might not have had any more kids. Was I a quiet baby too, Fudge asked. I wouldn't say that, Dad said. I want to see the baby, Fudge said. You will. Now. You can't see it now, Dad said. Why not, Fudge asked. Because it's inside of me, Mom told him. Here it comes. I thought the big question. When I asked, I got a book called How Babies Are Made. I wonder what Mom and Dad will tell Fudge. But Fudge didn't ask and said he banged his spoon against his plate and howled, I want to see the baby. I want to see the baby now. You'll have to wait until February, Dad said, just like the rest of us. Now, Fudge screamed. Another 5 years of this, I thought, maybe even more. And who's to say that they aren't going to keep on having babies one after another? Excuse me, I said, getting up from the table. I went into the kitchen, grabbed my Adidas bag, then I stood in the doorway and called, well, I better be on my way. I sort of waved goodbye. Where's Peter going? Fudge asked. I'm running away, I told him, but I'll come back to visit someday. No, Peter. Don't go. Fudge jumped off his chair and ran to me. He grabbed my leg and started brawling. Peter, take me with you. I tried to shake him off my leg, but I couldn't. He can be really strong. I looked at my mother and father, then I looked down at Fudge, who gave me the same look as Turtle when he was begging for a biscuit. If only I knew for sure what the baby would be like, I said. Take a chance, Peter, Dad said. The baby won't necessarily be anything like Fudge, but it won't necessarily not be like him either, I answered. Fudge tugged at my leg. I want an interesting baby, he said, like me. I sighed. If you think it's going to sleep in my room, you're crazy, I told Mom and Dad. The baby will sleep in here, Mom said, in the dining area. Then where will we eat? Oh, well, we'll think of something, Mom said. I put my Adidas bag down and tried shaking Fudge off of me one more time. Okay, I said, I'll stay for now. But when baby comes, if Nav don't like it, I'm leaving. Me too, Fudge said. Sam got a new baby and it smells. He held his nose. P.U. Who wants dessert? Dad asked. It's vanilla pudding. I do, Fudge yelped. He let go of me and climbed into his chair. Peter, Dad said, sure, why not? And I sat down at the table too. Mom reached over and tousled my hair. This time, I let her. So thank you for joining us for Storytime Mondays today. Again, today we read Judy Blume's Super Fudge. So it looks like that's Fudge and that is Peter. And maybe this is the baby that's to come. So if you enjoyed it, remember to give us a like or thumbs up on this post. And also comment if you have any questions or concerns Again, last week we announced that we were handing out summer kits to the kids on property. So if you have not gotten one, do not hesitate to send us an email or give me a phone call and just let me know how many kids are in the household, and an working email address, so that we can stay in contact through the summer. And I'll also have another special announcement that we'll be making later on today about an event that we can actually do with social distancing. So please stay tuned. Be on the lookout on the Facebook page for a flyer that'll be coming out. So again, we'll be back next week, and don't forget to check us out on Thursday for arts and crafts. See you guys.